Welcome to Date Night Podcast,
a tabletop role-playing game podcast set in the homebrew world of Volyanaya.
Let's explore a whole new world together.
So as you head back outside, Keira with a bag of goods to be identified later.
In probably about 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah. Make this decision someplace while I'm in the Underdark.
I'm adding it up.
I needed that.
No, I'm adding it up and I'm writing them down, so shush your faces.
I travel light. I'm a minimalist now. Check it.
So you're headed out?
Yes.
Yeah, the city's closed in terms of the gate. There's still there's the Goblin and the Outsider Inn and the stables that are outside the city walls.
Wait, what's outside the city walls?
The 2 inns and the stables and the general store that you just came from.
But if it's closed... Oh, are we outside the city walls?
Yeah, because
Oh.
it's night now.
Okay.
All right, over to the Travelers Inn.
And they're racist here, so
No,
we
the
weren't going to
Outsiders
get in
Inn.
anyway.
Right. Okay, so go inside the Outsiders Inn, and there's a big bugbear who's just sitting in a chair that looks to be too small for him.
Mm-hmm.
Just inside the front room. So instead of like your usual, counter and sort of tavern with tables and things in it, this particular inn, the receiving room, looks to be just a 10 by 10 room with this bugbear sleeping with kind of some drool going down the side of its mouth.
Like on the floor?
No, he's in a really rickety, tiny little chair.
Okay.
All right. Hello? Oh, it's okay, buddy. All right. Hello?
Hello.
You look cuddly.
I'm going to have a long conversation with you.
All right. Room, please.
No room.
No room?
Room.
Room.
Room. One room.
All right. How much?
Beds.
What?
Beds.
Right, beds. How much gold do I owe you?
I'm going to sneak past.
Many beds.
Right, okay. So, how many beds?
Many
All
beds.
right, buddy. 1, 2, 3. 3 beds, and I'll stay in the same bed as the half-orc barbarian over here.
No, you won't.
Is everybody in, I guess?
Yes.
4. Why are you hitting on me in-game? We're married.
And he's just looking at the 4 and getting the 3 that you said, and it's just, again and again, he's counting.
Oh, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. And I'll give him a little pet on the...
3.
Don't.
So, gold.
How much? 3 gold?
Gold. Beds.
Right.
Gold.
How much? 3 gold? All right,
Any of us
buddy.
could step in here.
Here's 3 gold, and I hand him
He's
2.
Speaking common, by the way, as best he can.
I hand him 2.
Roll a deception check.
Oh, 5 plus... Oh, where's deception? 0. -1.
Re-roll a deception check. You're at -1. I
Yeah.
have a 4 and you have a 4.
15.
I have a 3 now. Key. And he reaches into just this bucket and grabs a key, and it has a number next to it, and he just drops it in your hand.
Thank you. Go up.
There's no stairs. It's just this room. So,
Oh.
like, outside there are other doors. This is like motel style.
Oh. Thank you, buddy. And then go
Are we?
look at the room number
Do the
on
doors
key.
go to the outside or to the inside?
It's like a motel. So, like, you went into the main door of the inn, which was the place where you can get buy your
buy the
room
room,
and get
and
your
then you
key.
go to the
And then you
room.
go back outside to
Okay,
the room.
that's what I was asking.
Okay. So you find the room that matches your number. It's a really small room when you open it. It's really musty, like nobody's been in it for a while. It's got a little window, with wood shutters closed on it, and three beds.
Thanks.
Is there a place to hide the backpack that we stole?
I guess your best bet would maybe be under one of the mattresses.
What was that?
He was asking if there looked like any place you could hide something like the haversack that you took.
Just in case the shopkeeper decides to look for us at some point in time tonight.
All right, I suppose so. There we go. Hide it. I'll do my best to hide it.
Okay. Anything else you want to do before taking a long rest?
I'd like to intimidate the gnome into sleeping on the floor since he screwed up.
Okay.
It's fine.
Do I have
Just
to roll, or are
sleep
you
on-
okay with this?
It's up to him.
I'll just do it.
Okay.
I'll go halfway into the haversack, using it as a blanket.
You've also got your giant spindlefoot blanket, too. Okay, so...
Oh, yeah. I wrap myself in that like 12 or 15 times.
The dash line means it's not available.
Correct. All right. So you get your long rest. Morning comes.
Yes.
And around...
Oh, I fed Clippy last night, too.
Okay. So re-roll your d4.
Darn it. That was worse. Okay.
In private, though, right?
No.
Right in the middle of the floor.
Right next to your bed.
Housekeeping.
Go back. I'm not decent.
Come in.
What?
I'm not decent.
Come in.
What?
My pants are down.
Wait, what?
Come back later. Okay. It's morning.
All
You're
right.
awake.
Okay, I guess we need to go into the city.
Yep. So when you go back outside, the gate is open, and there's a couple of hobgoblins and 3 or 4 goblins standing outside the gate.
All right. Hello. Can we get in? We'd like to do some trading.
What's the difference between a goblin and a hobgoblin?
So goblin is
Goblin is green,
more like
hobgoblin
gnome.
is yellow, and he throws pumpkins.
Yes, that's it. The goblins are shorter. They're maybe someplace between a gnome and a dwarf in height. Hobgoblins are almost human in height. They're covered in fur instead of just having hair on their heads. And they're also known to be more of like commanders in sort of the goblinoid structure. So you'd probably go up and talk to a hobgoblin if you were looking for permission to do something. The city is not taking trade unless you've been invited.
Well, we have.
Okay, let me see some papers.
I pull out my case full of notes. I'm going through it. Here's
Do we
some
have-
papers.
Do we have
One of us
papers?
has
The you have it, right? The
In-
Rockseeker invitation.
Yeah, either Zev or Keira had that invitation.
I don't remember having an invitation, but I have my journal.
Okay.
We've lost it.
No, one of you had the invitation. so.
Okay.
We all
One of
empty
us-
out all of our bags
One
until we
of us
find at the
provide
bottom of the
her-
last bag.
I can't read.
Okay.
One of us produces the invitation.
Oh, yes, okay. This is a very strict invitation. You will only be permitted to visit Rockseeker Forge, it says here. We can escort you there.
Sure thing. Just know you'll be escorting the King of Magic.
We're still only allowed to go to the keep. Thank you.
Okay, well, welcome to the Labyrinth.
Thank you.
Stay within the confines of your escort party,
Or
please,
else
and
what?
There will be no trouble.
Or else what?
Well, or else you'll end up under the labyrinth instead of inside of it.
Right on. All right.
And he snaps, and the 4 goblins who are around sort of... 2 of them go up in front of you, 2 of them stand behind you, and the one in front... Come on, guys!
And which one carries me?
Do you need accommodations?
I mean, I'm the king of magic. I should be carried through the city, don't you
I'm
think?
sure your retainers.
Okay, come on, Nomi.
carry you down.
We are not his retainers. He is
I
full
get
of
up on
himself.
Aaron's back.
No,
piggyback
no.
style.
I meant come on like I'm dragging you along, not like come on, get on board.
I don't do that.
Okay, you try to scramble up Arin's leg, and she just shakes you off onto the ground
Okay.
in a not very regal manner. So they start escorting you through the labyrinth, and they're taking you down these twisting
You
roads.
landed on your chapless ass.
There's a lot of narrow corridors, some that look like they're going to dead end that they take you down because they get so narrow, and then they just kind of take you around this little bend and through. And eventually you do get to a really large, again, pretty much concrete-looking structure, but this one is just pouring smoke out of the top, and the goblins say, "Well, here you are. Here's the forge." And one of them opens up the door, and we'll be out here waiting for you when you're ready to leave. You've got as long as you need, unless that's after nightfall. You'll have to leave the city before then. Your invitation is good to return to the Rockseeker Forge until your business is complete. So if you don't complete that today, you can tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So as you enter the Rockseeker Forge, the smell of metal and sweat really permeates this room, and it's hot. You walk along the wall on the far end away from the forge, but even so, the room is just blisteringly hot and dry. There are a handful of goblins turning and hammering nails on a couple of smaller anvils. They're making the nails out of these thin, long rods, heating and shaping them, cutting them to length, and then hammering the shapes of the heads. Even so, even though they're taking them from these rods, it's quite a process.
I saw that at Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more about how they make nails, please.
What is that?
I saw
It's along
I forget
across the
name.
sea, across the sea from here.
I forget the
Oh.
name of the place that was on Long Island.
I don't
did
remember that
too.
place.
Across the shop, there's lots of bars and blanks for more nails that are being made by a few other goblins, and a huge bugbear with its hair shaved, which is maybe something you've never seen before, like a bear, bugbear. But it's shaved down to stubble, and it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting around the shop. In the corner by himself, there's a tall, thin dwarf. Looks different than most dwarfs that you've seen. He's got very blonde beard, and he steps over to a big bucket of water and quenches an axe head, and you hear this sizzle in the room. He's covered in black smudges across his skin, but he still looks quite fair, and his ears move out to almost an elvish point on the top. He sets the newly forged axe head down on a workbench, and he takes a long pull of an ale skin, sitting there, and he grins with this wild look in his eye as you approach. He goes, "Oh!" And you can see these smile lines around his eyes and his mouth as he does. Like his beard, his hair is light. It's not gray, despite his age. Again, this fair blonde that you really don't usually see among dwarves. And he says, "A merry band approaches." And he takes a seat on a three-legged
Okay.
stool. "Let me guess." He eyes the axe on the workbench rather than you for a moment. "You've a hankering for some custom blade. The tried and true blades of centuries' worth of design and refinement are no match for what you've cooked up on a scrap piece of parchment, no doubt. No doubt at all." He laughs, and a goblin grabs the axe head off the workbench, takes it over to the other end of the shop. "So, what'll it be, then? A glaive with blades on both ends so you can cut yourself just as fine as what you're fighting?"
We are here to get some supplies for Raventree.
"Oh," and you see him sort of sit back a little bit further on the stool. "Oh, well,
But if you want to keep talking down to us, by all means, go right ahead.
Oh, sorry. I heard a word from Raventree to expect you, but you just weren't what I was expecting, to be honest. Last I knew, Raventree weren't nothing but a place for orcs, no offense, and but they were mostly villagers, ill-equipped by comparison to what I see here before me now. Ill-equipped indeed." But where are me manners? Grin Rock Seeker, at your service.
Wait,
at Your
what?
service and Grin Rock Seeker.
Grin?
Grin, yeah.
Kira's silent for a moment. Do you know of anyone named Glenn?
Know him. Spent most of me life with him, I did. He was me father. Odd fella he was, really. Spent most of me life with him. Building a city in the treetops that was never occupied. Building a city in hopes someone would live there. Would you believe that? Daft he was. Daft was I for helping, I suppose, but that's a boy. His father can do no wrong. Why do you ask?
Okie dokie.
Kira's standing there with her mouth ajar.
Aaron gives her a little nudge.
I fumble in my bag and pull out the Journal of Glenn. Sorry, she's a little flustered at the moment. Sorry, everyone's looking at me strange.
You have a list?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll get back to that later. Raventree needs some arrowheads and spearheads and maybe some metal armor and nails, lots of nails.
Aye, sure, yes. We have many of those things around. Feel free to have a look. Here's a similar list.
Where's the back room in this one?
It's got the cost, number of items available. Stuff's more expensive in terms of like a lot of the metal armor and things. But.
I still cannot read.
Okay, but Mike can, presumably.
But yeah, Zev's not looking at a list. He's looking at the.
Oh, okay.
He could look at the racks around the place, so he'd be able to see that. He might not be able to look at a list of prices.
So hold up.
Oh, God.
So this is the number that you've written in, how many he has available.
Right.
But this bag of ball bearings contains 1,000.
Yes.
They're tiny.
And there's
big.
but there's 100 of those.
Correct.
So he has... Wow.
There's nothing there. I just
Sounds
find
like,
that very
I need
funny.
100,000 ball bearings.
That's literally the only thing
I'm
he's
going
going
to
to use.
Macaulay Culkin the rest
the
of this
havers.
campaign.
I was just thinking, you fill your entire new bag of holding
With
thing up with just...
ball
We
bearings.
go into battle, he just turns it over. A sea of ball bearings comes out.
And he has to hold it for an entire round of combat because it takes that long for them all to come out.
It's 1 minute of just the balls coming out of the thing.
And then a long
Yeah,
rest
you
of
know
picking
what?
them
That's
back
not
up.
a bad idea. I'm gonna buy like
No.
they're 2 gold pieces for 1,000.
It's never
Please.
going to get heavier.
Give me
It's like a container of BBs.
give me
anything you
Oh,
want
you
on
missed
there.
it. He
You
stole
can
like a
take.
bag of holding type item.
I figured it was something
give me
like that.
10
Yeah.
bags of those.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You can write those down and just subtract that amount.
10,000
Anything you guys
ball
want
bearings.
off of there, you can buy.
Hey, can you do this for 18 so I can get back to an even number? 18.
I'm sorry.
And a kiss?
No. With the demand we have now, I'm afraid the prices are all firm.
Fine. All right, so I'm going to put 10,000 ball bearings.
Why? What are ball bearings?
Like BBs.
But what are they meant to be used for?
Oh, well...
Macaulay Culkin style, you throw a bunch
Yeah.
of them out marbles.
Yeah, that's
and
all I
Creates,
can-
creates difficult terrain,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, yeah, in the game.
But what's their
but
intended use?
In real life or the game? Seriously.
In real
an
life.
Oh, in real life. Swivel chairs have them in them.
Yeah. They can use them like as a point to pivot on stuff.
Yeah.
Use them in pachinko machines.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
So
thing.
how big are they? Are we talking
Well,
like
they're pretty small. Yeah, we're talking like slingshot size.
slingshot size?
By the way, you can put them in slingshots.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they sell them as slingshot ammo. So
You have grease. Why do you
They're
need
in,
10,000 ball bearings to create difficult terrain?
They're in fidget spinners. That's what makes fidget spinners work.
Because it was 20 gold. And like...
You
That's
want to do
wonderful.
Home Alone?
Mostly it's more like industrial uses for the...
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about ball bearings
Ball-
and the history
this
of
has
ball
been
bearings.
Ball
Said
bearing
the person
talk.
who asked that exact question.
So now I have 10,000 ball bearings
I
and
just
enough
got-
spells to last a lifetime.
I got more information than I expected, honestly. And I don't have any. I think I have like 20 gold right now because I didn't trade anything and I just didn't feel like doing it. So I'm not going to buy anything.
I think Kira's looking at the list from Raventree of things that they want.
Yes. They need some arrowheads and spearheads, but I don't see these on the list.
I think I wrote them at the bottom.
Aha!
I'm going to run to the bathroom while you're looking at that.
All right, quick, while he's not here, let's steal a bunch of stuff.
Now's the time to steal it.
I don't understand these writings. Because you have 3
The scramblings of a madman.
1 GP and...
Do you need help?
Well, he has arrowheads 50, and then
There are 50 arrowheads.
for a bundle, but then he's got these numbers, which...
All right, let's look. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you see why I'm confused now.
3 gold piece, 1 gold piece, 5 gold piece.
Well, they wanted arrowheads and spearheads. Probably by maybe 5 of each. Like 5 times 50 and 10 times 5.
I don't know. You're
5 times 50 is 250.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got bundles of 50, so 5 bundles.
Unless that's how much is available. Like how many they have. That doesn't make sense, though. This is a forge.
So I'm really confused because he has 3 GP, 1 GP, and 5 GP.
Can you read your writing for us?
Can you explain what those 3 columns are? You see why we're confused now?
No, it's these that you need. This is the price.
This? Then what's that stuff?
That's at different locales.
Aha.
Oh.
Blanked out, though.
Okay. Probably going to get 5 bundles each of the arrowheads and spearheads.
And we're back. Oh, he's drinking some more water.
Ba-dum-bum-bum,
Might have to go again in a little bit.
bum.
Look at him. That's going to go right through him. He's putting it away.
This is like the weirdest NPR story ever.
Okay, all I
What
have
they
left
need.
is metal armor and siege engine, and pulling up
It's
my calculator
expensive,
again. I have 425 gold left if anybody else wants to do some math and armor stuff.
Trying to get stuff for the moose folk
Yes.
was the idea of the shock troops.
So,
So wait, hold on. What do we have left, then, that we need? The...
Metal-
Did you get weapons for them? For the
arrowheads
moose
and
folk?
spearheads.
Okay, and they said that they could use the moose folk had leather armor and stone mauls, but they would, if they were more well equipped, they would be more helpful. So
Metal armor is what I had written down. And then also siege engine, and I put in parentheses plans. So, hey, Grin, do you have any plans for siege engines potentially so that we can defend ourselves?
no, I'm afraid that's not in our purview.
Any ideas where I could possibly get some?
We have some siege engines around town. I'm sure somebody here is the ones who built them, but
Well, we're not allowed.
Yeah, we're not allowed. Would you be able to get someone to come back here possibly for us?
Post it on, like, online Facebook Marketplace or something?
I could go send Craig to bring a list back. Hi, yeah. I don't think those plans would come too cheap if they were for sale.
Well, plans would be great because then they can build them themselves back home.
No, what is it you're looking for? A catapult? A trebuchet?
Honestly, I don't know.
I don't
Ballista?
know either. They just told me siege engine.
I suppose in Raventree, making the ammunition might be tough, so something that could throw a rock.
Okay.
Sure, I'll send somebody to have a look.
Okay.
Right on.
And he motions to one of the goblins who he sends outside.
Is he the only non-goblin, or I guess they're also bugbears?
Right, they're considered goblinoids too. He's the
Okay.
only one who isn't.
Yeah, that's what I was
Definitely.
trying to ask. Why are they called bugbears? If they're not bugs, then they're not bears.
I never knew. I remember.
I don't think anybody knows the
I
answer to that
encountered them
question.
in Neverwinter Nights. They were
Ask
called
Gary
bugbears.
Gygax
Like,
himself.
why is this a bugbear?
I'm really frustrated with that etymology, personally.
Okay, so basically at this point we need to figure out how much the siege engine plans might cost, and then whatever's left we'll use for armor.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll wait.
So while we're waiting, so Grin, on my way to this island, are we on an island? Okay. I don't remember what's the mainland and what's the island because we've been on the island for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I ran across this city where I had a conversation with a dwarf who built the city for Nivara Silverleaf, who was ostensibly my mother, and I would like some more information about this. And I have his journal. His ghost apparently was talking to me.
What does ostensibly mean?
Aye, this is a lot of information. First of all, you've
He shrugs.
seen the city in the treetops, then.
Yes, it was very pretty.
What else did you think of it? Tell me straight.
A little empty and eerie, but it was very pretty.
So it's still as empty as a pauper's pocket it is, eh?
Yes.
It's been nigh about 70 years since I saw the city, and I sort of hoped somebody had taken up living there since then. Me and Glenn, me father, we spent our lives there. Spent them waiting for your mother, waiting for Nivara to come back.
So you're my half brother?
I suppose I am.
Hello, brother.
So does that get us any kind of
so
discount?
why can't you? Oh no, never mind. I was going to say why can't you open the journal, but it's the other side. I'll see myself out. Arin says all of that in character.
Family discount?
We waited for a long time. It don't pay waiting. If something's worth waiting for, it's worth looking for instead. And if it ain't worth looking for, well, it ain't worth worrying about.
And I'm looking for a deal. How about that family discount?
I'm sorry, I still can't give you any discounts.
All right, fine.
Everything here is firm but fair.
Are you okay?
So when did your father die?
That was around when I left, 70 years ago. I left and found me brother in the 10,000 cities. And I'd admitted to him that he had been right to leave, that mother was never coming back to the trees. I reminded him of all the stories father told about this island. I had this accent a couple weeks ago before we played.
Sorry.
Ones I heard plenty of on and off as we built the city, as we built Silverleaf. We knew this place here was a place of untamed life and untapped resources, and Glum had made quite a living in the 10,000 cities. We decided to show up here.
And you're sure he died that long ago?
Me father?
Because I spoke with him.
No, how old are you? You can't be
I
past
spoke with
70.
him a few months ago, maybe a year ago at this point.
No, I'm, so far as I know, the only rock seeker left.
Here's his journal. He spoke to me, and then when I went back down there, I found an old skeleton covered in dust, and this journal was there with him.
Me father's journal? So far as I knew, he never kept a journal. He takes it. He looks at the insignias on it, and he flips it open, and he starts flipping through the pages. He goes, "Sure looks to be. You found this in Silverleaf, you say?"
I did.
And he hands it back.
And I crack it open.
And it doesn't open.
It did open.
He opened it, and he closed it and handed it back.
Okay.
When you go to crack it open, it doesn't open.
Okay. Keira looks a little confused, but
She's not the only one.
yeah. I don't know now. I'm waiting for Craig and waiting for Grin to say something because I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to help with that?
I heard
What?
that Naivara was actually back on the island possibly, but she's not been seen for sure.
Well, so far as
Your
I know,
mom is like Bigfoot.
Nivara,
Bigfoot who loves making half-elf babies.
Nivara was
Bigfoot.
here many years ago before she met me father. It was her who told him about the resources here, and that's the reason me and my brother came from me father's stories. We brought Glum's resources, and between that and what I knew about the island from father's stories, we were a fit pair to settle the island. It was near about 60 years ago we came. It took me almost 10 years of convincing and preparing me brother Glum. But for 15 so years, we were right successful here indeed. But we followed Glum's rules, I should say. It was his demand, it were his resources. I acquiesced. And while we were here, we cared very little for the land around us. We processed silver and fouled the rivers, and our mining caved in sections of deep green living jungles above the rivers. About 40 years ago, when our colony was at the peak of its power, there were nearly 1,000 settlers here from the mainland, till the orcs, and he gives a look over at Zev in particular, rose up and
Zev looks over his shoulder.
and threw us off. Do you have
It's
foe
dismissed.
bearer? He says, threw us off. We're an orc with a dark blade indeed. Anyway,
I glance over at Zavask.
the colony decided to flood the mines like me father did in Silverleaf. You saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here it was with the intention of stopping the natives from growing strong enough to retaliate against the mainland with the resources they had. Glum was lost in the process of the flooding, and the mine shaft broke clear away and flooded huge portions of the Underdark as well when we cut our dam and diverted the water. Water's a strange thing. We work with earth when we mine, we work with fire when we smith, but water's got them all beat when it comes down to it. It's got life and death all mixed up into its essence, even more than the earth that grows food and buries us, more than fire that keeps the dark at bay or burns cities to the ground from a stray spark. Yeah, I've seen water beat 'em both, and I've seen 'em do it twice. Anyway, I was lucky they saw me talent after the war and didn't put a pick in me hands and let me die trying to create new mines like so many of the others. They put this smithy hammer in me hand instead, and here I stand today, still swinging it. Still swinging me hammer. In fact, it's been nigh about 20 years I've been here swinging it. I guess it's... Hold on. I'm lost in my own stuff here, because I went out of order.
Swinging hammers.
It's been nigh about 40 years I've been swinging it. Nigh about 20 I've done it as a free man.
Have you ever hit anything with a hammer? Another tear. Save it.
Another tear. Oh, I get it.
Pull yourself together.
When my master died, it was his desire that I take over the forge, or leave it if I wished, but to be a free man either way. I'd nowhere to go. I spent me whole life doing things for others, for me father, for me brother, now for the folk here on Limoges. I don't regret it none. I don't think so, at least not me time here. It were the least I could do, well, it were the least I could do after what me and me brother did to the land. And he runs his hand along a couple of weapons handles along the wall as he stands up. He says, and I know that some of me weapons make their way to Slaver's Bay. Sure, they make 'em to the raiders, the storm of orcs that go to the mainland and do terrible things. Sure they do. Some go to the Mage College to be enchanted for great purposes. But more than most of the weapons go to the local villagers and farmers. Folks just trying to keep their crops safe from all manners of nasty things that live in this land. They go to the guards in places like Silver's Blessing or Brazelwood, guards just trying to keep the peace. And some today, well, it looks like maybe they'll go to Raventree. So far as I've been told, they'll be used to defend against some invading force that has folks here at the Labyrinth hiding behind the walls, stopping all shipments till it passes. Passes like the war that passed all those years ago. Maybe if we never made this forge in the mines, maybe that force couldn't have been stopped. If you read that journal, you'll learn some things, and if you ask around, you'll learn some things about us dwarves and what we did to the land here. But I like to think that maybe now we also brought some good here. And I think we need places like this forge. But we need places like the land around here, too. Limoges is by and large a wild place. A place unlike the 10,000 cities. It's not civilized, but that don't mean it ain't proper. See, we need these kinds of places, too. Those in-between kinds of places. Places that ain't all light, but they ain't all darkness neither. In-between places. Without 'em, well, I'm afraid how fast night would fall. How it would fall without warning. But here I go, this is what everyone says I do. I meet someone new and I go into the same old spiel, like the old man that I am. Maybe that's the real reason that I stay here, because I'm too old to start again. But I'd rather think it's to help. There's not a place, though, in all me life, not a place that I've spent that I feel like I need to go back and see again. Not that city in the trees, nor the 10,000 cities. I've no desire to see anywhere new either, so here I stay, I'll suppose. With what little time I have left.
It's kind of
swinging me
grim.
hammer.
No, his name is Grin. So this journal doesn't open anymore.
I just opened it.
I could open the cover before, but now I can't open it at all.
No, you couldn't open it.
Oh,
You opened it in the city.
yes.
Actually, the wind opened it in the city,
Aha.
and you looked at it. But you've never been able to open the journal.
I probably have not tried.
You have, and
Oh.
you gave it to Dern, and Dern read that it can only be opened by a rock seeker.
Oh. I forgot those details.
Yep.
We've been playing for a long time.
It was a long time ago.
So how can I read it if I cannot open it?
Did me father seal it?
I don't remember, because we spoke, and then I found it the next morning.
Let me see it again.
Pass it back.
He takes it, he flips it over onto the back and sees the sort of dwarven text and the runes on the back, and he says, I can fix that for you. And he says something, does anybody speak Dwarvish?
Nope,
Dern
that one
did.
We
left.
used to have a dwarf.
So you just kind of hear this
Why is everyone looking at me?
little Dwarvish whisper. And does anybody speak Elvish?
Yes.
And the last word is in Elvish, and it just says, remember. And the insignia on the back of the journal, or the runes, just disappear. He closes it and hands it back to you.
And I can open it now?
You can.
Is it in Dwarvish on the inside?
It is.
This is
That's
so
a
helpful.
shame.
Well, it's a start.
So as you're sort of having this, as he's going on this diatribe, the goblin comes back, and he's got a tube under his arm. He says, I found some plans for a rock thrower. You know who had it? It was like you thought. It was Jameson. Look, he said he's got another copy of these plans, but they take a really long time to transcribe. But he could probably let him go for about 200 gold.
We've only got 425 left.
Right.
Does he have an ebook version?
Let me check for a PDF. No, just the one.
Can I go on a torrent site and get it?
Just roll a Tor check.
Roll an internet check.
No,
An internet check.
roll a dark web check.
Right. You think he can do any less for the King of Magic?
No, I mean he told me it's going to take him close to that to get it transcribed. So that's,
Could
he
you
said
get
I could
us-
sell it, or I could bring it back.
Could you get us a slightly worse version for cheaper?
Can I just look at it and draw it?
Rock thrower is pretty bottom of the line when you come down to it.
They do have some leather armor, but they would like some chain or ring mail.
I mean,
Alright.
how hard can it be to design your own rock thrower? I'm really asking.
Just like, you know.
Well, once they get one, then they can figure it out.
I'm going to roll an intelligence check to see if I can figure out how to make a... With my tinkering skills and my building skills, if I know how to make a rock thrower.
Okay, roll an intelligence plus your proficiency bonus for your tinkering.
That's a 17 plus 5 plus 3.
Plus 5 plus 3.
So 25.
25? You think you could figure out how to build one with some time? Like if you took some time and experimented a little bit?
Okay.
Maybe on the ride back.
Could he look at the plans to get an idea?
Let me
sort of?
see those to see if it's real.
Yeah, sure. Have a look.
All right. Study.
With that intelligence check, you get a couple of pretty good ideas from these plans about some of the ratios of, how long some of the sections need to be in comparison to the others, and where, how you can build up the tension to try and throw the rocks and things like that. So you get some pretty good ideas from the plans.
Cool. So I'll spend the next, using my tinkering skill, I can spend an hour and 10 GP worth of tools to just make a little tiny clockwork device. I'm going to see if I can do it on a smaller scale.
Okay, I'm going to try to make like a
Like a
toy
little pebble
catapult.
thrower.
Yeah. Okay. You could be working on that.
Okay, so then I just have to do the math to see what I can technically afford.
Okay.
So let's assume that I've purchased.
Okay, so you pick up basically armor and maybe a couple of weapons, but we'll come back to that. And
Well,
figure
I've
out what
got
you
the
later.
arrowheads and the spearheads and nails, and
Okay.
then I've got math to do for the rest.
All right, so you start packing up all your stuff.
Yep.
All right, as you go to leave, Lynn says, Grin, not Lynn.
Yeah, I
He's alive!
I guess
Hooray!
he
It's a
talked
miracle.
lot and didn't sort of let you get in much. Was there anything else you wanted to talk to him about?
so Grim didn't make it. Glum.
No,
Glum
was down in the mines when the dam broke early.
So, how flooded is the Underdark?
Quite a bit. There were a whole large city of drow who were displaced by the whole thing. Large sections of it between, just to the south of here, took on quite a bit of water.
Basically, we're gonna have to
So
go
where
to the
we have to
temple
travel through?
is at the temple. I don't think we can go through here.
I know.
Okay.
It's all right. I got aquatic adaption. I'll be fine.
We won't.
Do. Continue on tinkering.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to
okay.
let them start leaving, and then after... Is that fine with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Okay.
nothing we can do. It's flooded.
Okay.
What do you want me to do about it? Build me a snorkel.
Okay, so I hang back, and I say, can you tell me anything about my short sword? If you know anything. Mr. Fine Goods Man. Okay, no.
That's the one.
Wait, hold on. Let me look at that short sword. I've been looking at my character sheet, which is always a good thing to do.
Okay.
I have something called Artificer's Lore. Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to magic items, alchemical objects or technological
And
devices,
you have a high intelligence?
you can add twice your proficiency bonus.
Expertise. Okay, but you didn't see her, I guess, pull this weapon out and ask
Well,
her
I'm
about
just
it.
on the floor. Ding, ding, ding.
She waited for you guys to leave.
I didn't say I was leaving.
She said
Nope.
she
Oh, she waited? Okay.
Yes, I waited.
It's fine.
Fine then.
He won't help.
I didn't assume that you would be able to help because you don't do weapons.
I do,
Spellcaster.
actually. So, whatever. That's fine. That's called stereotyping. And look, it's biting
Spellcaster.
you in the butt.
He looks at the blade and he says, it's a fine sword, but I know little about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
I can't think of anything else.
Well, Keira, if you're kin, if you're me sister,
When you're here, you're kidding.
I mean, Nivara's daughter. Well, I may have turned you off with all me talking, but you're welcome here. Or if the city life don't suit, Silverleaf is as much your birthright as it is mine. It was a mistake to build it. It was a mistake, indeed, but it was a beautiful mistake. And Father would love to see a Silverleaf there, I think. So, think on that.
I will.
And take this as well. And he hands you just a piece of parchment. And it's a open invitation, he says. It's an open invitation anytime you want to come back to the Rockseeker Forge, dear.
Thank you.
Oh, I left
From-
my thing over there. Let me go back in.
I was
Oh,
gonna
nice
say-
sword there, Keira. Let me roll. That's an 18 plus 6 plus 5.
It's an old, fine, elvish steel short sword from the Araneva. Is that what it says on it?
Yes.
The Araneva family line.
That's from the
Which
Araneva
was,
family line, right?
Minor.
That's minor.
Well, I mean, that would be what you'd know, is that name is from the family line. There is no inherent magic inside the sword, but it's silvered.
But it's silvered.
You could roll a history check about Araneva if you want.
I thought
I'd
it
love
was
to do
Aranea.
that.
It was originally Araneva, and then I miswrote it, and I thought it was a Y, but it was actually a V the whole time.
Mandela effect.
Yes.
So since it's related to this magical item, do I still have the expertise?
No, because this is just about what you know about the family.
I rolled a 2.
That's an 8.
Don't recognize the name.
All
but
right. Well,
It's
bloody
just
good
a,
sword.
so far as you can tell, it's not a magic sword. It's a silvered sword.
I guess Keira and Greasy aren't coming, so they don't get to pick what we eat for lunch.
No!
Well, you'd still be waiting outside, I guess, with your escort of goblins.
Oh, I thought I was like down the hall.
I'm not eating vegan again! And then I run after.
Go ahead and roll your tinker check. I don't know if you had... Well, maybe we can do that later when you have a little bit more time to play with the catapult.
Sure.
Because you were probably only there a few minutes.
I'll probably be doing it as we're walking. Just
Do you forget you
like
had a fidget spinner, too?
Like a
Dropping.
fidget spinner.
Just dropping
I thought you got
pieces
rid of
on the
that.
screws
What happened
onto
to your
the
fidget
ground.
spinner?
I still have my
No,
fidget spinner.
I think...
Threw it at something.
Oh, no, I sold my fidget spinner. I still have
sold
my
it, okay.
Xbox
Okay.
control.
Wooden
Huh?
Xbox
It's a
controller.
wooden Xbox controller.
No, I still have my crunchy fidget spinner.
You got rid of the dagger? Is that what you got?
I got rid of my dagger that
Yeah.
felt like real. Let me look. This
It
one's
was wood but felt like metal.
It was magically enhanced.
Delicious. Magically delicious.
I still have my
Wooden daggers,
crunchy.
They're magically delicious.
I still have my crunchy fidget spinner.
Also magically delicious.
Why are there teeth marks on that thing? Greasy?
You know. Anyway, let's go.
This is Date Night, the tabletop role-playing podcast with me, Will, your friendly neighborhood game mom. If you want to learn more about the show, ways to listen, how to get bonus content, and where you can see art and maps, check out our website at datenightpodcast.com. You can also find ways to support the show there, like becoming a premium listener, buying us a pizza for game night, or sponsoring an episode and having your own message read on the show. Click the sponsor or donate tabs to find out more. As always, we appreciate your support in any way, from subscribing, sharing, sponsoring, or listening. Now, let's get back to the story. So you get escorted out of the city, you back outside the walls of Labyrinth, and the goblins kind of just form up back along the walls, waiting to see if anybody else who had trade business is coming to town.
So you're just going to head back to Raventree now?
Yeah, we've got all the stuff. We did very well.
Mm-hmm.
Next time on Date Night, extreme couponing.
I hope so.
What do you mean it's expired? Packed weapon.
So what's the plan?
Let's touch that tree for like 10 minutes.
So you've got a...
Oh, I forgot. We don't have to drive all the way back.
Right.
Hooray.
So there's a big swath of land where the trees are
That's
cleared,
actually
like,
a very
around the city.
important expression you just made.
Can we fit the weapons and all the crap that we bought through the Raventree?
Oh, you
Can we find a
better
large enough
believe
tree?
it. And I
Yeah,
hold
so-
out my bag.
What you have, I don't know what you bought
You
there.
can't fit it
For
in
the
the
most
bag.
part, you could like load up and hold, I think.
And we pass through bucket
If
brigade
not,
style.
you might be able to have a wheelbarrow that you could maybe hold up.
Sam,
between a
Just put it
couple
in
of
my
you.
bag.
You could put a lot in your bag, but I don't know what she's buying in terms of armor. But I think whatever you have,
So far,
you'd
4
be able to
chainmail
sort of
shirts.
go that way.
Can we take the cart with us too?
You would not be able to take the cart through the tree.
If
So you'd
it's,
have to like hold as much as you
Can-
could and like shuffle.
if it's 8 by 8 by 8 feet, he should be able to fit the entire cart in his bag.
Except for it's that,
Over
but it's
the
also
weight.
a weight limit. Yeah,
Ah.
which was you said 80 pounds for that compartment.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it'll split. That would be usually a class-specific thing.
Okay, should I
Could-
get 1 or 2 of those? Okay.
Could he cast fly on it? Fly it into the pack.
Or Tensor's disc that's been carrying 2 half orcs for 2 days.
Yeah, how would Tensor's disc react to that if I casted that one through the tree? But it has
couldn't
to
follow
stay.
you.
But it has to stay within 30 feet of
But
me.
it moves, like it physically moves. So
yeah,
like,
so it just like glitch out towards me.
if you get more than 100-something feet away from it, it disappears, and then everything would just fall to the ground.
I suppose.
I think you guys could hold this stuff. I don't think you
Okay.
could like fight while you're holding it, but I think you could potentially like. if
Not that you would
wheel
need
it-
to.
If you wheel it to a tree and then hold it, like I don't think there'd be an issue.
I've got
teleporting.
most of it in my pack, we'll say.
Okay.
Probably.
Whatever you can carry.
Yeah.
So you do have a little ways like around the city where all the trees are cleared, so they have good visibility of everything around. So you'd probably have a half-hour walk or so before you could get to the woods.
Sure.
Right?
On the cart, I'll write for Max. Love. What's like a party name? The party.
The Thunderhorn.
The Thunderhorns.
Right. Okay. So when you leave the empty cart there, if anybody finds it, maybe it'll end up going to Max.
Who
Yeah.
are the Thunderhorns?
He
That's my German accent. You're welcome, everyone.
I like
Well, he was
that.
in Albagula. He watched you guys. At
Oh,
the games.
okay.
So
Did he root for us? Hold on.
You don't know. You never asked him.
Huh.
But he was there. He was in the city. You never.
Well, now I did
found
my
him
German
inside the
accent for
city.
nothing.
But
He was there.
But you guys didn't like look for him or ask him to sponsor you or anything. No hard feelings.
He could not possibly have been a better
But
sponsor than our
grenades, Will.
sponsor.
Grenades.
Yeah, we
Grenades
had-
were good. You
Grenades
had the
that
better
were
strategy of
heavily
look
utilized.
for someone with a monocle, automatic sponsor. Much better strategy than the guy you know. All right. So you head off toward the forest, or the jungle, I guess I should say. And as you're walking there, can you make a perception check real quick?
I don't want to make perception check. Here's the shopping list back.
7.
15.
12.
13.
7.
So it was a meh.
Okay. Grease Wizard, you're the first to see, like, but it's still not until it's about 15 feet away from you, or maybe 30 feet away, and then it does this leap.
Fireball.
Hold on. We can roll.
15 feet away from you.
It does this leap. You can roll initiative if you're trying to do this fireball.
That's a 14.
You mean bolt,
Okay.
right? Fire bolt. That's clearly what you meant to
That's
say.
fireball.
So before that happens, it leaps down right next to you, and it's got like these sticky sucker fingers
Oh,
on the end of its fingers,
God.
and it's got a head that's like almost, it's not feathered, but it's shaped like an owl's head, like a heart-shaped face, but it's got fur on it, and it's got like these big raptor kind of teeth, and when it jumped, it had like a kangaroo almost legs and these ape arms that are dragging on the ground, and it lifts up these
This
suckers
is horrible.
in front of your face.
What
And it
having
kind of-
nightmares.
It kind of does this noise that goes like with its fingers, and then in its throat you hear like a, I'm trying to do like a chirping,
Like a
really
cricket?
fast cricket. Yeah, I can't do it.
Like-
Something
Like the
that.
tree
Yeah,
cricket
yeah, yeah.
screeing in our room downstairs.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's good. And it does that. And I need you to make a wisdom save.
Oh, God. That's a nat 20.
Okay, so you feel this like almost stun you as it makes that noise, and then you release a fireball. Like to, is that still what you're doing now that it's next to you, or?
How, like, so...
I
Like,
love
it's
that
in
would
your
be the
face.
Grease
It took-
Wizard's automatic reaction if
You were
someone
about
scared
to
him.
throw the ball, but it jumped from its spot 30 feet away to almost instantly in front of you and in your face, making that noise.
So how...
So it's literally like you can feel it breathing on you.
So, how does Fireball work? Like, I, Sam Hausman, don't know I can't cast Fireball, so I don't know, like, the mechanics of it. So if I cast it, am I getting splash damage from this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh, yeah.
what? It's like a 15-foot radius or something, or 20?
It's a 60-foot circle.
Oh, okay, 60. Even worse than what I was thinking.
30-foot radius.
3 times what I
All
was
right,
thinking.
well, that was my initial reaction, but maybe I'll cast Firebolt.
Please do.
Okay, or you could. It was throwing the fireball like where it was, but you could cast firebolt at disadvantage because it's right in front of your face. 'Cause
Fine, Thunder
it's
Wave.
a ranged attack.
I'll Thunder Wave it. Thunder
Okay.
Wave, yeah.
Okay.
And shock Kira lost her footing and just kind of fell over for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's
What's the sphere or this cube size on Thunderwave?
15 foot.
All right, everybody roll a d6. If you roll a 1, you're within 15 feet of the grease
Ha,
wizard.
2.
Nat 6.
3.
Nat 6. All right, so everybody's a little spread out. So what do I have to do?
Constitution save.
14 plus 0. 14.
16. No.
Okay.
So now we have to drop all this stuff in battle?
It's on the cart right now. You're still
Okay.
wheeling it.
2d8 thunder damage. And is pushed 10 feet away. That's an 8 and a 1. So 9, and he's pushed 10 feet away.
Okay. He flies back 10 feet. Can everybody make a new perception check?
9.
Not nat 20.
17.
All right.
11.
17. Zev and Keira, you see standing on the corner of the woods, or at the corner of the jungle, this drow
Bloody hell.
woman. She's wearing a feathered cloak that had camouflaged her up against the blighted tree bark there. But when she moved and sort of drew an arrow, you were able to see her. And she screams out, Malkovich, heal! And the creature that had been thunderwaved and blown backwards does a tumble as it lands on the ground and then jumps 30 feet 2 or 3 times back toward the woods where the drow is. And she says, she just goes back behind the tree there for the moment.
I shout in Undercommon. What do you think you're doing? Keep it on a leash.
And you hear back, sorry.
I mean, it spooked me. I mean, I didn't want to hurt it, but
What is he saying?
You see her step out from behind the tree a little bit, like she's still wary, and she peeks out around the tree and she says, he wasn't going to hurt you.
well, it spooked me. That's why I thunderwaved. Like,
He's spooky.
yeah, he's very
just
spooky.
a squawk.
Are they still talking in Undercommon?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and pull the sword out.
No, put it
Just
away.
for-
Put it away. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Anyone have any rope? You need to get a leash on it or collar. I wouldn't have been spooked if it was on a collar.
You still don't know, I guess, what he's saying, but she does. No, I'm sorry. He won't be on. He would be useless on a collar, on a leash. Look. Look. I'm sorry. He's fine. You're fine. If it's all right, I'd like to just keep moving along. I've got to get to Raventree.
Hey, we're going there too. Come on.
Wait.
We have no idea what he's
No
saying.
idea.
We heard Raventree.
No, it's
Not in
Undercommon.
Undercommon, we didn't.
They-
We wouldn't have recognized the word Raventree. Okay.
Come on.
Ask her what kind of creature that is.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. What you doing in Raventree? What you need there?
They've put out a call for bows and swords and people who can fight, and I've done quite a bit of trade with Raventree over my years, and I'd like to go back and help them out, see if Rickmash and Minash are all right.
Those two names sound kind of familiar. I don't really know, but I don't pay attention that much.
Does wait, but
All right,
does
yeah, bring
Zavosk
him along.
recognize those names?
Does what?
Zavosk recognize those names?
Zavosk doesn't. That was me out of character.
You would
like,
hear
well,
you would hear Rickmash and Minash come through as orcish names. So, I mean,
But
you'd hear
yeah,
those
but I was
names.
asking if he knew who those people were.
He knows Rickmash
Oh,
a little bit because he went with him on the to return the second stone.
That's right.
So he would know Rickmash.
All right, guys in the party. She's chill. She's just, passing along, and she's gonna come with us through the tree.
She's gonna what?
She's gonna help protect Raventree.
No.
It's fine. Can I roll
By
an,
almost trying to kill us?
No, she just doesn't have it on a leash. She should. I understand.
Do you speak
All right.
common?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is a fun game in Orcish. Do you speak Orcish?
Huh?
They're really racist. Sorry about that. In Undercommon.
I'm used to it, she says.
I just
Drow.
wanted to see if she spoke
I understand.
Orcish.
Hey, gnome.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll take Drow anytime.
yeah. At least we get the jokes, right?
What?
Sure. Look,
Like the
I don't
Jews.
deal with a ton of people.
Hey, neither do we. We usually kill them, right?
Are they speaking in common again?
No, he said undercommon. So, yeah, if you're going back to Raventree, I'm sure that's fine. I'd probably be better off, sneaking than in an open party walking on the road.
No,
but I appreciate
we go right through a tree.
a tree.
Yes, it sounds dumb. It's a wondrous item we got. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your name? Hold on.
Henna.
Hannah, like the tattoo thing?
Yes, sure.
All right, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
All right, Lee. All right,
Do
Lisa.
you
Are they
know-
still
Do you
speaking in
know what they are
Undercommon?
saying?
All right, come on. You want to help fight?
Yes.
If not, I'm gonna bloody kill you, right? If you don't, I'll bloody kill you.
All right, roll an intimidation check, I guess.
What?
That's an
Doing?
that's a 13.
She just laughs.
All right, you got my joke, right?
They are laughing. I do not know if I am. Ha 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 ha.
All right.
Sure. So, tree?
Tree, right here. Put the stick on the tree.
I pull out the wimmly wommly stick.
Okay.
Wimmly wommly, wimmly
So
wommly.
she starts doing that, and she looks back at you. Okay, she's hitting the tree.
Wimmly wommly,
Watches.
wimmly wommly,
Uh-huh.
wimmly wommly. 10 minutes later.
Yep.
Woo!
So she. All right, fine. So you're gonna hit the tree. I'm gonna go walk back to
No,
Raventree.
bloody watch this. Wait 10 minutes.
Wimmly wommly,
All right,
wimmly
I
wommly.
guess I
wimmly
have
wommly,
10
wimmly
minutes.
wommly.
Malkovich, she says, and the thing jumps back over beside her, and she takes out a
How
little
big
bit
is
of
this
rations.
thing?
Does she have another pet
it's-
named John?
It's about 6 feet tall.
So
Wimmly
what is
wommly,
that
wimmly
thing?
wommly.
Like on all fours or
No,
on?
when it stands all
Okay.
the way up. It's got short. Well, it has long arms like an ape that sort of drag along the ground, but when it stands up straight, they're off the ground a little bit, and it's
What
got
is it
these
called?
Big
Malkovich.
kangaroo type legs.
No, not the name.
That's
The
what I'm asking.
creature.
It's a squawk.
Squawk.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. I've heard
They're-
about those.
Yeah, they're almost extinct here on the island. There's a few of them. At least there used to be a few of them. The southernmost tip of Limoges was one of the last known populations, and I think there's a few of them still on some of the smaller islands, out in the Lich's Teeth.
Right on. Right on. Cool. And has it been 10 minutes yet?
No, it's really awkward. She's just sitting there eating and like looking at Keira doing
Wimmly
wimmly
wommly,
wommly
wimmly
on the
wommly.
tree like,
And I have no idea what is going on.
any moment now. Something's gonna happen.
Wimmly wommly, wimmly
So
wommly.
you're from Raventree then. You're heading back there. Never saw you there before.
Not really.
Do you know what language this is?
Wimmly wommly.
Why is she saying wimmly wommly?
Wimmly wommly.
It's part of the ritual. I don't know.
What ritual?
I
What
don't
class
know.
are you?
It's your fault, Mike, that it's wimmly wommly.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, come on.
Wimmly
Wizard.
wommly, wimmly wommly.
Barbarian.
I spend my time in the woods.
Oh, very cool.
I used to spend my time in the Underdark until we lost my city.
Oh, bloody heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are they
now-
still speaking Undercommon?
I don't know. Is that what you
Yeah,
said? Yeah. Okay. So they're
She
having
can
this.
speak in common if she wants.
It's
Wimmly
good
wommly,
to
wimmly
hear this
wommly,
language
wimmly wommly,
again.
wimmly
Anyway, it's been
wimmly
quite some
wommly,
time.
wimmly
Yeah, don't really get to use this skill very much.
And you're in Raventree.
Yay!
And she goes, "Shit, it worked." And with that, I think we'll go get dinner. All right, great.
Making me sing wimmly wommly for like 2 minutes straight.
In
I
real
just-
time.
I just realized we still need to talk about your sword that eats souls.
All right, let's go eat some pasta.
And some souls.
And some souls. Pasta for souls.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed our date night together. You can really help us out on social media. No matter which platform you listen to us, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks.